Hi guys, good morning. Once again, sorry, my system was not getting restarted due to that. I was unable to log in, guys. Okay, guys, tell me like in previous session, what are the like in Hibernate session, what are the things we have discussed, right? From starting from Hibernate to the mapping, like till one to many map, sorry, many to one mapping. I think we have seen on Friday, right? Sorry, Saturday. So do you have any doubts in that? So you guys can able to create project, guys can able to write the code and execute, right? Yes or no? Guys, if you have any doubts, you can ask me so that we can go for like we'll explain the things, then we can go for the next sessions. Fine then. Okay. So then we will. Okay, many to one. Fine. Okay. So let me give me a second. I didn't provide that actually. Okay. So where is that main app? Yeah, I commented everything, Ra. So, and let us see. Okay. Now, yeah. So in many to one, so one's the output of many to one. Yeah. So I think like you guys have seen that insert operation, right? So do you want me to execute and show how the insert operation occurs again? See, in main just operation, that's all. Like not completely CRUD operation. The one is insert operation I was performing, and delete operation I have shown. And I was asking you guys to complete that main app. Okay, so yeah, I was asking you guys to complete the main app, go with the menu based, ask the user to go for like insert operation. In the insert, like okay, so which one like hotel or room object, like room details you want to insert or a hotel details you want to insert. Then similarly, like okay, so then I used to ask them, okay, you can just give a menu like insert operation, update, delete, or read operation. Okay, so read by ID, all this operation you can give and go with the menu based. I just asked you to complete that. That's all. Okay, then fine. We will go for the next topic. Okay, so guys, now let us understand. Okay, so assume that we have a scenario. We need to store the details of teacher and a particular subject, or else like yeah. So teacher and a particular subject, right? Yeah. So guys, now let us have a scenario that we need to store. Okay, so we need to store in our application a teacher and particular subject. Okay, so the teacher will takes which subject. Okay, so this is the scenario. Now assume that okay, so one teacher can take many subject, right? For example, okay, I'm going to take this advanced Java as well as I can take the core Java concept also, and as well as I can take the SQL concept also, and front end like React JS concept also I can take, right. So that is like okay, so one teacher can take many subject, right, and similarly one subject can be taken by many teacher. Yes or no, guys? So one subject can be taken by many teacher, right? Core Java was taken by some of our colleagues. Okay, so similarly, I can also take the Core Java, and for taking advanced Java, like yeah, so we have other trainers also. Okay, they can also take advanced Java. So yeah, the relationship between teacher and subject will be many to many. Okay, so many teachers can take many subject. Means that means like one teacher can take many subject and one subject can be taken by many teacher. The relation will be like a teacher and subject, right? Okay, so assume this is the scenario and I need to store the details of this teacher and subject here. Okay, so here one teacher can take many subject. I said like one teacher can take many subjects, so that will become one to many. And this subject in subject also. Okay, so one subject can be taken by many teachers, right. So yeah, one teacher can take many subject, and one subject can be taken by many teacher. So to come to a conclusion, to store the details is okay. So we can go with an annotation, something called as like many to many. So we can go with an annotation, something called as like many to many. That means many teachers are taking many subjects. Okay, so many teachers are taking many subjects. Okay, so let us go with an example and see. Like let us take the fields and see how that works. Okay, for teacher class, I'm going to store an ID. Okay, so I'm going to declare an ID. Then, what is that? Yeah. So then I will give a name for the teacher, saying name. Okay. Then, yeah. So I can give the salary name or okay. Yeah. So the salary. No, no, no. Wait, wait, wait. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So simple one. I will go with the age of the teacher. Okay. And then I said like one teacher can take many subject. So one teacher can take many subjects. So I will go with the list of subject and subjects. List of subjects and subject. So in this list of subject, I will be using an annotation, something called as like at parent many to many. Okay. Right, many to many annotation I will be using here. And in the subject class, okay, so in the subject class, let me declare some fields. Okay, so I'm going to declare a field like int id for the subject in value. Okay, then name of the subject, name of the subject. Okay, and then okay, so the last one is like in days. How many days that subject usually takes? Okay, so how many days that subject usually takes to complete? Okay, so these are the fields. Now, if I try to execute, okay, so this is how I can make a relationship between my Java program. Okay, so here we can see, guys. Here you can see why unit. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Here you can see teacher is in Java. We can see the relationship between like a teacher uh, as list of subject. Okay, so that means like one teacher can have many subjects, and simultaneously one subject can be taken by the many teachers. Okay, so that's how we have created a relationship between teacher and subject. Okay, so now let us try to run the programs and check. Okay, so inside that identification, okay, how the tables are getting created, and what happens we will see. Okay, so just 1 second, let me. Okay, so guys, what I'm going to do is I will just share my eclipse and let me write the program and see how many tables are getting created. Okay, so yeah, okay, I'll create a new project, file, new maven project I'm going to create. Okay, so I will create a sample project, not an issue. Okay, so I'm going to create a simple maven project. So okay, so create a simple project, that is fine, then click next. Okay, now I need to mention the group ID. So what is the group ID? Group ID I'm going to give it as edu.jsp. Okay, so then you can go for give the artifact ID. Artifact ID I'm going to give it as many to many. Yeah, artifact ID I will be giving like many to many underscore UNI. Okay, so that is like unidirectional. We are working with now unidirectional, guys. So I'll just give as many to many UNI. Click finish. That's all done. Okay, so until I need to wait until unless this creation of project is done. Okay, so everyone simultaneously create the project. Okay, so everyone simultaneously create the project, and yeah, so project has been created successfully. Many to many unidirectional. Yeah, we have this project. Okay, and guys, make sure that you will be receiving this project structure. If you are not receiving the project structure, just right click on it and go for the property. Okay, so right click on it and select the properties. Okay, so in these properties you can see there is a Java build path. Select that Java build path. Okay, so once you select the Java build path, just check this JRE and Maven dependency. and click apply and close. So that time automatically you can receive this project structure. Fine. Now let us add some dependency to my project. So this many to many unidirectional, let us add some dependency. So now what are the dependency we required in this project, guys? Can anyone tell me? Fine. So guys, we need MySQL connector, okay, and then we need the Hibernate core relocation dependency, okay. So now, like in a previous session, like many to one unidirectional, I have been added that dependency. Just I will take from that form.xml file. Okay, so just I'm copying the dependency are required for my project. I'm just copying from the previous project and I will be adding here. Okay, so I'm just adding the dependency, required dependency to my, yeah, you can see I'm adding MySQL connector dependency and Hibernate core dependency. And guys, here you can see I'm using the Hibernate version 5th. Okay, so 5th version I'm using in my project. 5th version of Hibernate I'm using in my project, guys. Fine. Then let me save this. Yeah, I already saved that. Okay, so due to which you can see I got the related jar files which are required to my project to deal with the Hibernate and MySQL. Okay, yeah. Now then we need to create a folder under src main resource where we need to provide, okay, so this is okay, yeah. So here we need to create a folder called meta inf and where we need to add our persistence.unit or a persistence.xml file. What is the reason we need to, like, why we need to add that inside that meta inf? The reason is simple. So whenever they to run the program, okay, so JVM is going to check whether user has declared a meta inf folder. Okay, like when it is going to check means like when it is going to invoke that concept persistence dot create entity manager factory. That method will makes the JVM to go and check whether user has declared a folder called as meta inf under src main resource, and inside that whether user has given a file with a name as like persistence.xml. Whether if it is there, then it is going to take or it is going to read the input from that file and then go for creation of the go for creating a object of the entity manager factory. Else it will throw some error, no persistence unit found for this application. That type of error it will be throwing. Okay, now let us go for add the meta nf. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, okay, so first let me create the folder. Right click on that src main resource, new folder. So the folder name I'm going to give it as, sorry, meta inf. Then click finish. Okay, so inside this we need to add this form persistence.xml. Okay, so just I'm right clicking on that persistence.xml, copy it and add to my meta inf. Okay, so right click again and go for paste. Yeah, so you can see I successfully added the persistence.xml file to my many to many unidirectional. Okay, and here we need to just change the database. Okay, so here we need to change the database previously like many to one was there, so let me change to many to many. Okay, so many to many. Yeah, that's all. Okay, so guys, let me close these two things, form.xml and persistent.xml file, and create a classes. Let me create a classes, something like new class. Okay, so class package name. I'm going to give the package name as edu.jsp, edu.jsp dot sorry, what is the project name? Project name is like many to many dot dto. Okay, I'm going to create some DTO classes or entity classes. Okay, now what I'm going to do is here, so I give the DTO class name or entity class name as teacher. Yes, I'm going to give the DTO or entity class name as teacher. Then click finish. Yeah. Now let me make this class as an entity. Okay, so to make this class as an entity, we have an annotation called as entity. Just use that on this class. And we know the rules of entity class. Okay, so we need to have one primary key, right? So we need to have one primary key. Let me declare a integer value of its type ID, and here let me give it as a primary key. Okay, so to mention it as a primary key, I will be using, or we need to use an annotation called as ID. Okay, fine. Then let me go for create a one more variable as we discussed, private string name. Okay, so name of the teacher. Then PRI, private int age of the teacher. Okay, so age of the teacher. Then let us add a no argument constructor to my project. Okay, so let us add a no argument constructor to my project. Okay, so I'm just adding a no argument constructor to my entity class. Then let us add that getters and setters to my class. Okay, so I'm going to add the getters and setters. Let us select all, that means getters plus setters. Yeah, done. Okay, so done, it is done. Teacher class is ready. Okay, so now I said, okay, so in the example we were talking, okay, so teacher will have a list of subject. That means one teacher can take many subject, and many subject can be taken by many teacher. Okay, so many subject can be taken by many teachers. Yeah, so many, one teacher can take many subject, and many teachers can, sorry, many subject, one subject can be taken by many teachers. Okay, so that was a relationship, right? One teacher can take many subject, and one subject can be taken by many teachers. So that was a relationship. To achieve that, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare private list of subject. I'll go with like subjects. Okay, so yeah, I'm getting error. The reason I'm getting error, one is I need to go for import operation. I'm importing java.util.list, and then the second one I'm getting error because like, we don't have that subject class. I didn't create the subject class yet. Okay, so let me create the subject class. I'm going to create a class with a name as subject under the DTO package, and click finish. Yeah, then sorry, let us use an annotation called as entity to make this class also an entity class. Then the usual, okay, so we need to add integer value. Okay, primary key, I'll be using that at the rate ID as a primary key. Then name for the subject, private string name and private int days. Okay, so number of days required to complete this particular subject. Okay, so similarly, let me add a no argument constructor. Okay, then let me add getters and setters. Yeah, so done. So one more entity class with the name as subject has been created successfully. Now let us see in the teacher class. Okay, so here we didn't add the getters and setters for the list of subjects. Okay, so let me add that. Before that, now we need to mention a relationship, right? So with respect to Java, I am writing the code. Now I need to inform my Hibernate. Okay, hey Hibernate, there is a relationship between teacher and subject. Okay, so that relationship we call it as a many to many. Okay, so that relationship we call it as a many to many. So many teachers can take many subject. Okay, so one teacher can take many subject and one subject can be taken by the many teacher. Okay, so due to which I am mentioning it as a many to many. Okay, so many to many. So now let yeah. So now let us go for creating the DAO classes. Okay, so let us go for creating the DAO classes. I will go for creating a teacher DAO. Okay, so class, the class name I'm going to give it as teacher DAO. Here, instead of DTO, I will be mentioning as a DAO package. Package name I am changing to from DTO to DAO, guys. Okay, so here, let us have that three objects. Okay, so which are required to interact with the Hibernate. One is we need entity manager to perform some operation on the um, like CRUD operation on CRUD operation given by the Hibernate. Okay, if I want to perform or if I want to make use of that entity manager, then I can create an entity manager object by using the entity manager factory. And then we need the transaction to keep a record on what are the operations we are performing on the database. Okay, to achieve that, what I'm going to do, yeah, so let me create a first entity manager factory object. Okay, so by passing creating a reference variable as factory, and then by using the helper method from the persistence dot the method name create entity manager factory which accepts a persistence unit name. So my persistence unit name is Manoj. Let me pass that, and yeah, object will be created successfully. Then let me create an entity manager. I will go with the reference variable as manager. So can this manager object can be created by invoking an helper method from the entity factory. Okay, the helper method name is create entity manager. Then similarly, let me create an entity transaction reference variable as transaction. To create the object for the entity transaction, I am going to make use of this manager, and then I am going to invoke this get connection method, which helps me to provide the transaction object. Okay, so here I will just go with the save operation, guys. So public, let it be wide. I'm going to give the name as save teacher. Okay, so save teacher. Then this will accept the teacher object. Okay, so this will accept the teacher object. And here let us write. Okay, so I received this teacher object. Okay, so now let us write a logic to save this details. Okay, so now let us write a logic to save this teacher information. What I'm going to do is we'll just invoke this entity manager. Sorry, yeah, manager. Sorry, before that, let me begin the transaction. So let me begin the transaction. Transaction dot begin. Once transaction has been started, then let me call that manager and invoke the persistence method to perform the save operation by passing the teacher object. Then I will go with transaction dot commit. Okay, so I'm just committing the whatever the operation I'm performing. Okay, So then, yeah, so let it be have this one, okay, and then I'm going to create one more class, okay, one more DAO, that is instead of teacher, let me create the DAO of subject, okay. So here also I will be performing the same operation. Subject, okay, again I need an entity manager factory, okay. So I will create a reference variable as factory, then by using that helper class persistence dot create entity manager factory by passing the persistence unit name. I'm going to pass the persistent unit name as Manoj. Okay. Yeah. Then let me create an object for the entity manager. So entity manager equal to in so factory dot create entity manager. Again that entity transaction equal to manager dot get transaction. And similarly, I will go with a simple public void. Let me give the class name, sorry, method name as save subject. Okay, so let me give the method name as save subject, and this method is going to accept the subject object. Okay, so this method is going to accept the subject object. Okay, so which is present in our package edu.jsp dot many to many dto. Okay, so inside that we have a class by the name as subject. So I'm going to start. Okay, then here also same transaction dot begin and manager dot persist the subject object, then transaction dot commit. Okay, guys, now you guys will complete that main app. Okay, so this is the implementation for the student subject DAO, and this is the come on, yeah. So this is the implementation for the save teacher. So you guys will be executing that main app, and let me know. Will you complete that one? Okay, guys, then go ahead. I will give some time. Complete. Okay, so once that is done, let me know. I will also show. You try to execute. Okay, so if you are not getting that, okay, so at the end I will help you out. Not an issue. So guys, how many of you completed? Save operation, read, delete, update. Guys, are you there? Okay, cool.